Being a Sigma male isn't the dream most people imagine. In reality, it comes with a series of struggles that no one talks about. From constant misunderstandings to society's pressure to conform, Sigma males walk a path full of unseen obstacles. They don't fit into the usual social hierarchies and often face criticism and judgment. The independence that defines them is also their greatest challenge, forcing them to confront life's hardships alone. While it may look like they have it all together on the outside, here are 7 real struggles Sigma males deal with every day. 1. Being unfairly judged or labeled based on assumptions. When people don't know someone, they're quick to rely on assumptions that frequently cloud reality. It's like when you see a book with a plain cover and guess it's boring without even reading the first page. People often make snap judgments about Sigma men without trying to understand who they really are or where they come from. They might think Sigmas are too quiet, shy, or even unfriendly simply because they're not as outgoing as others. This problem occurs because Sigma men prefer to stay out of the spotlight. They don't mind spending time alone or doing things their own way. They don't follow the crowd or seek lots of attention, so others may mistakenly see them as distant or antisocial. Imagine having to explain yourself again and again because people don't take the time to get to know the real you. Even in school or at work, this can be hard for Sigma males. Teachers or bosses might assume they're not interested or not trying hard enough, simply because they don't raise their hand or jump into every conversation. Friends might think these men are hiding something or are too good for them when they don't open up as quickly as others. Everyone judges, but Sigma men have to deal with misjudgment way more often. They are often deep thinkers and observers, noticing details others might miss. This careful nature can be mistaken for being slow to react or overly serious. In truth, they're just taking everything in to understand it better. Like an artist who watches the world carefully to paint a clearer picture, society is structured in a way that doesn't favor Sigma men. From a young age, they are forced to rely on themselves and figure things out alone. They're not used to asking for help or depending on others, which makes it even more challenging when they encounter struggles in life. Yet this self-reliance has made them strong, capable, and independent. Unfortunately, people can't see the full picture, and instead judge and label based on what they think they see, filling in the blanks with their own assumptions. 2. Difficulty trusting when everyone talks. Fake. If you're a Sigma, trusting others can feel like walking a tightrope in the middle of a storm. It's already tough, but the wild winds of fake talk make it even harder. You hear promises and compliments all the time, but deep down you know they're not real. Sigma males often find themselves surrounded by people who say one thing but mean another. Sigmas are simple in their hearts and prefer honesty above everything else. But when people have hidden motives or say things just to please others, it becomes tough to know if anyone is being real. Trust for a Sigma is like a precious gem that's hard to find. They want to believe what others say, but it's tricky when words don't match actions. This struggle grows at work, where you might see someone smiling and being nice, only to realize later they were just pretending. Sigma men have keen instincts and can often sense when something isn't genuine. It's like being a detective in a mystery story, always questioning and trying to figure out who's being true. This makes it tough to form close friendships. They don't want to waste time on people who aren't real. It's not about being picky. It's about wanting to surround themselves with people who mean what they say. When everyone around you talks in a fake way, it gets lonely. It's like living in a house full of mirrors, where it's hard to see what's behind the reflections. That's why many Sigma men get tired of looking for friends and decide to be their own best friend. At least for a while, they would rather have no friends than fake ones. This might sound sad, but it's really not. It's a choice they make to protect themselves, their values, and their peace of mind. 3. Unintentionally intimidating others. While Sigma men may not intentionally try to intimidate others, it can happen simply because of their personality. It's like when you're just sitting quietly at a table, but others feel nervous because of your presence. Sometimes Sigma men don't even realize they're intimidating others. They are often independent, confident, and have strong opinions, which can be seen as threatening by those who are more reserved or less assertive. This can create a barrier between these men and others, especially in the workplace. People may be afraid to approach them or share their thoughts, thinking they will be shut down or dismissed. But this is not Sigma men's intention at all. They just want to be themselves and express their ideas without sugarcoating or hiding behind false pretenses. That's exactly why they can be intimidating to others. They are unapologetically themselves, which is both a strength and a challenge. They don't talk a lot, but when they do, they speak with certainty. Another reason Sigma men come off as intimidating is because they don't easily open up. They are like a closed book, and people struggle to figure out what's inside. When people don't know much about someone, They sometimes create stories that are far scarier than the truth. Others might imagine these men are unkind or unapproachable, when in reality, they are just private and reserved, not cold or unfeeling. Sigma men need time to open up and trust someone before showing their true selves. But once they do, they can be some of the most loyal and caring friends anyone could ask for. It's just a matter of breaking through that initial barrier and getting to know them on a deeper level. 4. Constant overthinking and perfectionism. Being a Sigma often means that your mind never stops thinking. You are always trying to make everything perfect, which can be a heavy load to carry. Imagine always looking for ways to improve everything, even when others think it's already okay. This constant overthinking starts with small things, like wanting your handwriting to be perfect, and extends to bigger things, like trying to find the perfect job or house. It's like balancing a glass of water on your head, always being super careful not to spill a drop. Sigma men just want to do the best they can. They are their own biggest critics. Even when things turn out well, they find little things they could have done better. It's like drawing a picture. Even when it looks beautiful, they see a line that's not quite right. This kind of thinking pushes them to work hard and be the best, but it can also make them tired and stressed. It feels like running a long race without a finish line in sight. This overthinking sometimes makes it hard to make decisions. They worry so much about making the wrong choice that they freeze up, like when you can't decide what to order at a restaurant because everything looks good. They also might take too long to finish tasks because they want every detail to be just right. Imagine writing a birthday message and rewriting it 5 times before sending it because you don't like how it sounds. Even though being a perfectionist has its challenges, it's also what makes Sigma men successful in many ways. However, it's a constant battle to find a balance between striving for perfection and accepting that things will never be completely perfect. It's often said that perfection is the enemy of progress. 5. Difficulty finding like-minded individuals. When you're a Sigma, finding friends who think like you can be really tough. Imagine being in a room full of people but still feeling alone because you can't find anyone who gets you. Sigma men often think differently from others, so it's hard to connect. They enjoy deep conversations and exploring big ideas, but many people prefer to chat about lighter topics, like the latest movies or trends. This can make Sigma men feel out of place, maybe even like aliens on their own planet. At work, it gets trickier. They prefer to keep a low profile and focus on getting things done. They don't usually join the office gossip or after-work happy hours, which makes it hard to bond with coworkers. They also don't like being assigned meaningless tasks or doing things just to fill time. This can create tension, as they need purpose in what they do and aren't afraid to speak up if something doesn't make sense. Colleagues might not understand their ideas or why they don't just go with the flow, so they may come across as troublemakers, even when their intentions are good. This not only makes it hard to make friends, but can also create conflict in the workplace. However, Sigma men are still highly respected by those who would like to speak up, but don't have the courage. Sigmas usually don't back down from sharing their honest opinions, so people know they can trust them. 6. Stubbornly facing problems alone. By nature, Sigma men trust their own judgment and abilities. They believe they can figure out anything if they put their mind to it. While this confidence is admirable, it can also be a trap. Sometimes they try to face problems alone without asking for help, striving to prove something to themselves. They don't want to burden others with their issues or rely on others instead of using their own capabilities. However, this mindset can become a problem when the issue at hand is too big for one person to handle alone. For Sigma men, asking for help feels like showing weakness, and they would rather solve their problems in silence than admit they need a hand. Even when friends or family offer support, they are reluctant to accept it, which sometimes leads to unnecessary struggles. This stubbornness doesn't come from pride, it comes from a deep desire to be self-reliant. They believe that by solving their problems alone, they're proving their strength and independence. Yet, there are times when even the strongest need a break or a little bit of help. When they push themselves too hard, it can lead to stress, burnout, or even physical health issues. Sigma men need to remind themselves that asking for help is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of wisdom. 7. Limited support system. Because Sigma men choose to walk their own path, they often find themselves with a smaller support system than others. They aren't interested in big social circles or constantly checking in with friends. This isn't because they don't value friendship, but because they believe in quality over quantity. They would rather have a few close, loyal friends than a large group of acquaintances. However, this can leave them feeling isolated at times, especially when facing challenges. Society rewards extroversion and social interaction, but Sigma men don't always fit into these molds. They don't enjoy large gatherings or following the crowd, which can make them feel out of place in social settings. Their way of life is more solitary, but this doesn't mean they don't experience loneliness. They just prefer to be alone rather than surround themselves with people who don't understand them. While their support system may be small, it's filled with people who truly know and appreciate them for who they are. The relationships they do have are deep and meaningful, built on trust and mutual respect. These friendships may take longer to form, but once established, they're solid. This is because Sigma men take the time to choose their friends carefully. They want to know that the people in their lives share their values and won't abandon them when times get tough. These 7 struggles show that being a Sigma male isn't just about being strong and independent. It's also about facing unique challenges in a world that doesn't always understand or appreciate their way of life. While they may seem like they have everything figured out, the truth is they face battles every day that go unseen by the outside world. But despite these challenges, Sigma men remain true to themselves, walking their own path with confidence and integrity. That's all in this video, soldiers. If you like the video, consider subscribing to the channel. Now go out, conquer the world, because you are the chosen one.